Hello, men, and a small amount of woman. Welcome, welcome to this talk. Thank you for being here. My name is Mami. If you don't know, most probably you know. Thank you for being here. I don't know why I made this title, another controversy is gonna unleash itself upon me perhaps, but it's okay. It's fine. Sometimes you gotta, you know, poke the bear to just simply show the bear that you are a bigger bear. So now let's get into this masturbation world, huh? When I say spirituality is the absence of masturbation, I'm not joking here. I'm not just because the title is funny, it doesn't mean you should not pay attention to it, right? I'm Dr. Masturbation myself, if you would, you know, want to call a person that perhaps won medals in masturbation Olympics, I'm gonna be top, I don't know, perhaps 100 in the whole history of masturbators, not only contemporary ones, not only the ones that they are alive now. Like if you look at the history of masturbators, I'm definitely somewhere in, top 100 to top 1 million, let's say. So I observed this process for so long, for so many times. Perhaps many times during one day, you know. You know what I'm talking about. There were times in life that I realized masturbation is keeping me to the basic level of human beings. Masturbation is just constantly satisfying the basic need of any man, let's say. Then very quickly can become your coping mechanism, right? Very quickly, in the beginning of early teen, you realize that, wait a second, if I can activate this type of energy myself alone, why not? Like, it's just great, it feels good. But the danger is, you gotta come out of this basic need in life at some point. And it will not be so wise to make something that will always keep you in this basic need level in life as a coping mechanism. So you choose something as a coping mechanism that will always keep you at your bare minimum. Yes, it's, satisfying. It creates a certain level of satisfaction for a basic human. It says, okay, now you can chill. I release this dopamine because What really never gets old is the orgasmic experience, right? Any other, I would say, sensory satisfaction in the world, it increasingly becomes less satisfying. Therefore, you need more. But this orgasmic experience that you go through, let's say, that that particular time, that you know what I'm talking about, that's what you're looking for. It never gets old. It really never gets old. This coping mechanism is the best. It always stays there. Perhaps you need a little bit of mental struggle, fetishizing things, in your head to be able to get yourself to a level to be able to release. But again, you know, you're always filthy enough to really get yourself there in your head. You're always simply willing to compromise, to be the evil person in your head when it comes to masturbation. But you will get there, right? You will always ejaculate. And you will always have that feeling, perhaps, in your mind, in your brain. Therefore, it's never wise to make it your coping mechanism. Look, I'm not against masturbation at all. It's the greatest thing a man could really figure out, It's just like, imagine the first man that figured out we can masturbate. Like, come on. Like, this man upgraded the whole human consciousness in a totally different level, right? Anyway, let's not get involved with comedy here. Let's get back into the business. For so many thousand years, all these religious teachings are somehow, one way or another, they're against this sexual energy. And this is one thing that you could never take it from a man, It's just like, you can take anything and everything from a man, but you can never take this part. Therefore, it's really hard to put someone in the doesn't come, the word doesn't come. To be able to rule a man and promise him salvation somewhere else, you gotta make this sexual energy in control. Because if you don't do that, it's really hard to get a man out of his own head, It's just, you can simply see I'm struggling here in my own head. It's just like impossible. You cannot get a man out of his head. That's just how manhood is defined, with the head, with the brain, with the logic, with the intelligence. Therefore, it's really easy it's not really easy. I'm struggling big time. Let's take it from the place that how all these religious teachings, they try to warn you about this sexual energy. Therefore, if you keep masturbating, you will always stay in this bottom of the barrel, always in the basic instinct need. But if you stop masturbating, now you got a lot of energy to deal with. Now you will, I don't know, have you ever tried to stop masturbating? Perhaps it's not so easy if you have a high libido. But sometimes you get to a point that you think that, okay, this is not healthy, I'm just like really wasting all my life masturbating, because it also takes a long time, because there are so many things that you do before and after and all of these things that just cranks up in your day, and all of a sudden you realize that you masturbated, all day. And what now? Don't do that. Don't perhaps waste your life on it. And the more you go through this masturbation detox, it's okay, you can go back to it. But let's look at it as a detox. The more you go through this masturbation detox, the side effect is that you also rewire your brain for being too filthy. You rewire your brain to be a little bit more, in a way, gentle, or a gentleman. And this is what you want. This rewiring is needed. You need to go through this period of not masturbating. When you do that, you refresh this brain that continuously objectified woman, continuously, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to really bring it up here. I know that between us, you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about objectifying woman. It's like there is no boundary. Give yourself a chance. Become a little bit more spiritual. Look, you're gonna struggle a little bit but you will also go through this struggle. Perhaps in this period, you will feel restless, you will feel that you are having trouble concentrating or focusing on things. But this is very short. This period of restlessness is very short. This is the time that your brain wants to convince you you need a direction in life. That's where you gotta be careful. That's where you gotta observe that, okay, now I can create direction in my life. Build direction, go toward it, become creative of that path, and then, okay, it's okay. You can come back to that masturbation, build again the tension, but create this tension. You know, this tension is needed for you to be able to give direction to your life. Otherwise, you wake up every day, what? Check your phone, go to social media, do this wasteful activity, perhaps masturbate in between, right? Your brain cannot wake up to a vague life, you know, you just cannot simply wake up to a vague life. Like, it's impossible. Most people think that they lack motivation. No, you don't lack motivation, you lack direction. And no, you don't feel empty. If you feel empty, because you masturbate a lot. There is no other way. Anyways, I think this is the greatest video I ever made in my entire life. This is fantastic. I really enjoyed it. You know, I put a little bit of that comedy in it. I genuinely feel really nice when I'm funny. So, yeah. Don't take things too seriously, okay? And really think about it. The spirituality is the absence of masturbation. Man, get deep on this, and I promise you, you will enlighten the fuck out. You take care of yourself. Much love. See you soon. And perhaps take care of yourself.